Jesus, this has a lot of views. What even happened?
With almost 2,000 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience, it's no surprise
here shall not be used in court in any way, shape, or form.
You know,
None of the comments or
that there have been a
content
couple
posted
of
here
pretty
shall be
heated
used
arguments,
legally.
and we're going to kick the video off
Violations
by
will be
looking at one
persecuted in
between
the
Joe
highest
and a guest by the
court.
name of Candace Owens, who initiated the conflict after stating in a very smug way that humans don't need to care for the environment because climate change doesn't exist.
You don't think we have to care about the environment? Like,
No, not even a little bit. Like,
not even a little bit?
no. Okay, let me clarify this. I don't throw trash on the ground. Like, I'm not saying like we need to like, you know, trash the environment. Like, but do I believe in climate change? No.
Joe pushed back on this initial statement by arguing that the topic was incredibly complex and that maybe Candace wasn't in a position to make this claim. Things became even worse when Jamie brought up a website to support Joe's side of the argument.
The vast majority, 87% of scientists, said that human activity is driving global warming.
Yeah, I don't believe this like at all, just so you know.
Which resulted in Candace implying that they were specifically searching for data to support.
Does she not believe in the data and in the raw facts, or does she not believe that about the stats of the scientists or whatever? Because I think it's kind of weird. If there's some research that says that, yo guys, 80% of doctor thinks you should drink water, and you say, yo, nah, I'm good, just not true. Well, is that because of the water or because of the doctors?
I don't believe this like at all, just so you know.
Which resulted in Candace implying that they were specifically searching for data to support what Joe already believed.
I guess look up the opposite, right? Instead of looking for what you're searching for, looking for what you're not looking for.
I didn't search for it. That's what I found when I searched it.
Joe then doubled down on just how detrimental the climate situation could be.
This could negatively impact all sorts of coastal cities. This could be a gigantic problem. This is not like propaganda that's drummed up by some sort of big business that seeks to make money off of this.
Yet Candace showed no interest in changing her belief on the topic, escalating the conflict even further.
I don't believe it's real, okay? So I can't
But why,
sit here.
but here's the question, but why have a belief? Why have a belief as to whether or not global warming is real or not real?
Because
if
I
you
just
don't have
find
a
that
background
when
in
things
it, you don't
you're
understand the
correct,
science.
you are correct.
But why have a belief in it?
Right. So it's not a belief in it. I don't believe in it.
Joe was eventually able to get Candace to admit that she didn't really know what she was talking about.
How about not have a belief?
Oh, she's one of those people who are like, I'm entitled to an opinion type person, right? I'm entitled to an opinion. It's like this thing is going on. It's like, well, I have an opinion, and everybody has a right to have an opinion. You're like, oh, okay, thank you.
Until you
So
really have
okay,
looked
so
at the
you would
data.
prefer if my
That's annoying,
language, as opposed to admitting that I do not know this, I wouldn't die until I've never made a video, I've never made a public statement. You would have preferred if I had just started by saying, I have no opinion.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You say
But I said I didn't know.
No, you say I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in it. You're saying really clearly that you don't think it's real.
However, Eddie Bravo was significantly more stubborn, who found himself in an argument with Joe after refusing to let go of the idea that the Earth was flat.
Show me a
Space-
real
No
picture.
shot!
Listen, NASA
Find
does not have one of those satellites.
Fake.
Why does it look fake?
It looks like something you'd see in a movie.
That's because when they do it in a movie, they try to make it look like this, which is what looks real. Why would it be fake?
Propaganda, man.
After Eddie kicked off the argument by claiming that every round picture of the Earth is fake, Joe continued the conversation by requesting to see a legitimate photo of a flat Earth.
Is there a photo of this flat Earth?
No, I don't. Like I just said again.
That's what I
there's
asked.
Is there a photo of
there's
this?
no photo of the flat Earth from space. There's no photo of the round Earth from
That's
space.
not true. That's not true.
the truth. It's all fake.
No, why do you say they're fake though?
They
What
look
evidence?
fake. They look
Okay,
CGI.
But you're not an expert in imagery.
After being backed into a corner, Eddie made the argument that the source...
But most of the pictures, if not most pictures of the Earth, are pretty much not CGI, but they're modified to look better, right, chat? Because am I wrong about this? Most pictures of the Earth that you're shown are somewhat color corrected to look better. It's just kind of how it is, because you want to see that, oh, good look, the Earth looks nice, or whatever the fuck, right? So, but
sources Joe was using were being paid for to keep the conspiracy going.
dude, they still are ugly pictures, though. There's still a bunch of ugly ones.
Where did you get this information?
Jamie.
Where'd you get it?
Where'd I get what?
This information. Where is this coming from?
This is coming off the internet.
Exactly.
The American,
So
the
you're
American
reading
Journal-
some information. I'm reading some information.
Slow down,
off
slow down,
the internet.
slow
You
down.
didn't go to the
Slow down,
library.
slow
Oh, it's
down.
on Wikipedia.
Just slow down.
Eddie, stop
There's
doing that.
sources here. There's a book called the American Journal of Science.
Oh,
I'm
it's
sure
on
that
the
all
internet,
sources
then.
like
Which is
that.
bought and paid for.
Well, maybe.
Why would anybody be paying
Chat,
money for people
chat.
to lie about the world spinning?
Which was followed by Eddie
Chat, why should I believe this guy's real? Why would I believe this guy's a real human if he's on the internet? The same way. It's not the same way. It's on the internet. Why should I believe it? This guy could be a robot for all I care. I mean, he looks kind of a human, but I mean, it could be a robot. How would I? Am I gonna this guy's not like metal and shit like that under it? It could be a fucking AI.
Stating that there was no evidence
What
to
about me?
confirm
I'm
that
AI.
the Earth was in fact spinning.
Eddie, people have known it's spinning forever. That's how you. That's how the seasons
Gravity,
work.
baby.
That's how you see the sun. We spin around. That's why it
Okay,
makes
explain this
eclipses.
to me.
That's why we
That's why you
age,
can
too.
track time zones. That's why you can put a piece of stick in the ground.
You're saying all the
it
correct
acts
shit.
as it acts as a sundial.
After over 40 minutes of back and forth between the two, Joe completely lost it.
Eddie.
I used to say the same
Eddie, you're
stuff.
talking about the
I
Earth being
said this-
flat.
I'm
Thousands of
saying the
scientists
same
have
thing.
looked into it. You think they're all wrong? That's so insane.
You haven't looked into it.
True.
No, you have.
Chat, is it guys? If you put a stick high up enough and you get a shadow of it, right? Don't you have to make up for the curvature of the Earth or whatever? Because if it's very, 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 very super long or something like that, I think I heard something like that before. Yeah. Just like the Golden Gate Bridge. The bridge is so long, right? That they have to factor in
Faded
the
Thanaho.
curvature of the Earth because it's so long.
Oh my God. How could I not have? You don't think I have? Eddie, there's websites dedicated to debunking it. There's so many people working on these things, Eddie. The idea that they're all in on some sort of a giant global lie is insane.
However, while this argument could certainly be dismissed as a bit of banter between
Yeah, it's
two
banter,
friends,
that's content,
the
who
same
cares?
can't be said for the argument between Joe and Matt Walsh, who began the heated exchange after claiming that gay marriage shouldn't be allowed, as it threatens the institution of traditional marriage.
But then why are you opposed to two gay people doing that?
It's not about choice. It's about what
Wow,
this
a debate about
institution, marriage is an
apple
institution,
pies,
and
I like
what
that.
is it, and what purpose does it serve?
Joe then made the point that a gay marriage doesn't damage a straight marriage in any way.
I don't think gay people and gay people getting married in any way, shape, or form changes a bond that you have with your wife.
To which Matt responded with the following point.
If marriage is not what I'm saying it is, why do we even need it? A thing that actually exists, which are man, woman couples creating babies.
But after Matt stated that the point of
Wait,
a marriage is
that's
for a
nothing
man
to do
and
with-
a woman to make babies.
Wait, what? That has nothing to do with it. Is this guy good? Wait, the fuck?
In couple, we even
What?
need it. A thing that actually exists, which are man, woman couples creating babies.
But after Matt stated that the point of a marriage was for a man and a woman to make babies, Joe questioned the following.
If marriage is only for procreation and to bond a family together,
There you go.
what about people that are deeply in love that never want to have children?
I don't think it's not only procreation.
Right, but if people
Oh,
want to be
it's
married
only when-
and don't
okay.
want to ever have children, are you opposed to them being married?
I think this will be a couple that is rejecting one of the fundamental aspects of marriage. They should
that's
be
not
open
true.
to life. I would hope that in the future they would be.
It seemed as though Joe and Matt
Wait, when has there ever been the expectations that, if anything, it's just socially, it's more often that one happens with the other, but it's not.
could have argued back and forth for hours on end. But what happens when Joe invites one of his haters onto the podcast? This is what happened with Brian Dunning, who had written an article claiming that Joe was one of 10 celebrities who promote harmful pseudoscience, in which he'd write, "Comedian Joe Rogan does what he can to promote virtually any conspiracy theory that he stumbles onto, apparently accepting them all uncritically with a wholesome
Wait.
embrace. He believes the Apollo astronauts did not land on the moon,
Okay, let me do this, check. Guys, promoting conspiracy isn't even that bad of a thing because I don't think that conspiracies or skepticism is a bad thing. The fact of you're asking questions isn't the problem. This is something you need to understand. Yeah, I get it. A conspiracy is bad. I get it. But if you ask questions, it's a good thing. Even if your question is fucking stupid. If your question is fucking dumb, okay, it's still a question. It's by questioning that we get new conclusions and new things. That's how you advance in the world. If you stopped asking questions, you stop getting answers. And it's why the field of philosophy is so important, because people say, if you study philosophy, the only job you can get is a philosophy teacher. That's not true. Philosophy teaches you to ask new questions. Oh, I have all my answers? Cool. What is a new question I could ask? How can I rethink about this? That's what philosophy does. That's what the philosophy does.
He believes the US government was behind the 9/11 terrorist attack.
Guys, I didn't see this. I never said it. This has always been my take. Questions are good. There are no bad questions. When my teacher told me this, okay, in 7th grade, okay, I ask questions all the time. You know what happened? 80% of the time plus, I asked a question. Everybody in the class laughed. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. 4 out of 5 times, the entire class laughed when I asked a question, right? I don't give a fuck. What would I care? What would I care? I have a question. I get an answer. I keep asking questions. One day I'm gonna get a good question. I'm gonna get a good answer. And all these motherfuckers that are saying nothing, you know what they're gonna do? They're not gonna ask something, and they will know a false thing, and they're gonna continue being a fucking dumbass.
He believes the Oliver Stone version of the Kennedy assassination. He believes that aliens crashed at Roswell in 1947 and the government is covering it up. Joe, if you're gonna put so much effort into promoting conspiracy theories and eroding what little rationality the public has left, at least have the courage to come forward with a cogent argument and well-sourced evidence instead of the lameness of I'm just the guy asking questions. Take the responsibility. Joe would take this responsibility by inviting Dunning onto the podcast, which resulted in a 3-hour back and forth arguing about everything, beginning with conspiracy theories.
Well, it's just factually inaccurate on so many different levels. I don't understand why you wrote it like that. Like, there's things that you said that I believe that I don't, that I've never said that I do.
Before eventually concluding with diet and alcohol.
It's not correct. That's not the way the body works. That's not the way the digestion system works. When you say that there's a supplement that can prevent you from getting drunk, you're, I'm sorry, you are against all reasonably established science, and you're trying to make a buck off of people potentially getting killed. And I had a huge problem with that to the point that I had to turn the show off.
However, if we're on the topic of diet and alcohol, then we have to look at the Joe Rogan Experience number 1267, which became one of
Joe... Did you actually say that there's something that you can do that makes you not drunk at all? None? I thought there was some substances that they can help with certain like drugs or whatever the fuck, like activated charcoal or whatnot, right? That it juices up.
Joe's most heated episodes after 2 opposing diet specialists began to argue about nutrition.
To this energy. No, Gary, you talked for a long time, and I'm going to talk for as long as I want now.
Throughout the whole episode, the 2 guests were continually mocking each other in a very subtle way.
How does the brain regulate that?
I didn't say it regulated that.
Hold on, Gary, hold on.
That's fascinating. How does the brain do that?
Which accompanied other segments where the guests made it very obvious that they hated each other.
Data are very clear on that, Gary. So
No.
Yes, they are. Look, we have data.
We can't say things like that, Stefan, because we're going to disagree on what the data say.
Let's move on. You think they ate mostly fish. That's incorrect, okay, according to the data. I remember you saying that in your book, something to that effect.
Stefan, read it. You've got my book. Read what I say.
Anyway.
Just read what I say.
Let's go on.
We don't have to argue about it. Read what I say.
I'm going to move on here.
The adversity between the 2 guests became so great that Joe had to intervene on more than one occasion.
Gary, I really continue to get the feeling that you do not understand human energetics. Because that's not how it works.
Well, no, I'm just saying 10 calories stored in the fat tissue. That's
10
just
calories,
mathematics.
10 calories.
I didn't say anything about
Gary,
how much you have to eat.
I'm not done.
Okay, no, but you're insulting me,
Gary.
Stefan. You got to stop doing that, dude.
God, Jesus.
You keep acting like you think I'm an idiot.
All right, are you done now? Are you done?
Can we be clear that we're talking about...
Are you done now?
Can I just finish this?
No, you can't until I am done.
Me without, no,
Gary, you have time to respond.
You can respond, write down notes on what you want to respond to, and after he's done, you can talk.
Yeah, but we're going to get to a long discourse on something that's not the point.
Well, let's find out if it is the point. We don't know what he's going to say.
Thank you. Okay.
But despite this, the 2 diet experts failed to agree on almost anything.
What do you disagree with?
Well, virtually everything.
As we've seen so far, Joe Rogan is pretty good at keeping his cool whenever things get spicy. However, in a recent episode with Dave Portnoy, Joe struggled to keep his cool after Dave stated that Tommy...
Isn't he the pizza guy? Is it that this guy went out in New York and had pizza?
Fury wasn't a real boxer.
I saw Tommy Fury box. He is not a boxer.
Well, he's definitely a boxer.
Well, he puts on gloves.
He's definitely a boxer.
Dave went on to make the point that Tommy was only famous due to his brother's name.
We would not know who Tommy Fury was if his last name wasn't Fury.
Probably we wouldn't know as much about him.
I don't.
But he's still a good-looking guy. He's built great. He looks
looks
the part.
Looks the part.
And while the conversation was somewhat amicable in the beginning, the tension escalated after Jamie pulled up a video of Tommy Fury's boxing.
Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer. The guy's fighting looks good. Dude, you're crazy if you don't think Tommy Fury's a boxer. Look at that uppercut. Watch this.
Find the Tommy Fury. Find the Tommy Fury fight. Can you find me the record of Volkanovski?
Watch this. Stop. Watch this. Watch this. Look at this. You're out of your mind if you don't. Look at this.
What
Look
is
at that right hand.
That was in slow motion.
No,
I
it's
think.
not in slow motion.
I think you slowed that down.
No, he's 100% a legitimate professional boxer. If you don't think so, you're just being a hater.
The argument between Joe and Dave felt like it was coming from a fun perspective. However, Joe Rogan's argument with Adam Conover was significantly less friendly, which began when Adam stated that he saw nothing wrong with transgender athletes.
Sports with trans athletes who are, competing with with their gender, right? That is a sporting world that I'm more interested in.
Joe responded to Adam's position by making the point that it's unfair for a biological man to compete against women.
If you're a woman and you're a natural woman and you don't take any extra hormones or male hormones, you're not taking steroids or any sort of performance-enhancing drugs, you're doing your very best to compete and you're at the top of the heap. But then someone comes along that was a man for 30 years and decides that they're going to be a woman, and this has happened, and literally transition a few...
Yes, I'm not getting about this. I'm not even kidding about this, okay? I did extensive research about this, and I talked to a bunch of people about this, okay? I've had an actual really good thing about this, but the reality is that I like Frosted Flakes.
Months ago, and competes as a woman and destroys records and dominates you in that sport. That's not competing on a level playing field. It's not fair. It's as much cheating as taking steroids when the other person doesn't.
I disagree, and I've.
What do you disagree about?
I've already. Well, I don't think that there is such a thing as a perfectly level playing field. I think we decide what kind of playing field we want to have.
Sure, but we do make the distinction where we don't allow men to compete in women's divisions.
And I think that distinction may be breaking down a bit, right? And I think it may be time to break down that distinction a little bit.
So you think that males should be able to compete in the women's division of weightlifting?
No, I don't necessarily.
But they can if they transition.
Well, first of all,
the debate became even more heated after the two got onto the topic of transgender children.
If you're shooting hormones into a child, and you're affecting the child's development, you're saying that's not a choice. That's nonsense. Of course it's a choice. You're choosing.
Guys, until I'm misinformed, it's just a question. This is more of a question, okay? Pretty sure even after a transition, right, the person would still keep some of the biological advantages that one has over the other that are pretty much permanently locked into place that you just can't do anything about unless you purposely handicap yourself by doing like very painful body altering things like fucking up your bones and your lungs and shit like that, right? Which I don't think anybody does unless I'm wrong.
To chemically change this child's body.
Which then turned into a weird debate about the existence of alpha males.
You're saying question mark, but I don't think you understand the actual biological differences like bone density and shit like that, right? There are a couple components that are pretty severe, actually, that are pretty severe, right? That you would maintain even after,
It's not scientific, but it is true that women are hardwired to be attracted to confident, athletic men.
I don't know if I agree with that. But
really?
Yeah.
But if you ask girls, like, what are you into? And you say, are you into tall, muscular, confident men who are also nice to you? Jesus Christ, it's going to be off the charts. It's going to be like most of them.
I'm really not sure that's the case.
Really?
However, at least Joe was sober for the Adam Conover debate, as alcohol was one of the main drivers for Joe's heated 2017 argument with Steven Crowder, which began with Steven stating that the legalization of weed has led to an increase in motor vehicle accidents.
Traffic fatalities regarding marijuana have skyrocketed.
Google that, because that's nonsense.
No, we wrote about it
drunk driving arrests have dropped. What do you mean first of all...
No, we wrote about what the sources are, the original studies.
Steven then tried to convince Joe that he didn't really care about the use of weed.
As soon as he said that, the chat said true and false, almost a 50%, 50-50 in chat. What the fuck?
About it.
I really didn't chat.
I don't care. You're the guy that thinks people should be able to do whatever. You're a free market guy,
that's
right?
What I just said.
So if you're a free market guy, why wouldn't you be in support of something, whether it's the most beneficial or equally beneficial? But you're not necessarily, because you're denying.
But because right now of the chemical,
which is followed by Joe mocking Steven for his attitude.
Things that are good. And don't shore, man. Just like you don't shore turmeric, you don't shore ginger, you don't sure a reduced sugar diet, all those things that reduce inflammation are good for you.
I don't buy that smoking marijuana would be as beneficial as a reduced sugar diet.
After bringing up a study to support Joe's point, the following exchange ensued.
Since marijuana legalization, highway fatalities in Colorado are at near historic lows.
You haven't bringing up the source that you want to find.
Well, hold up. 2014. Since marijuana legalization, high fatalities are near historic lows.
The source that you want to find.
Washington
Bring
Post.
up the study right there. Yeah, Washington Post. Bring up the study that we wrote. We wrote about it on our website.
Look, I don't care about your website. Since marijuana legalization, highway fatalities in Colorado
Since you
are
called me
at
hold on a second. Since you called me
And after Joe sobered up the following day, he issued an apology for the way he acted during one of the most heated arguments in Joe Rogan history.
Jesus, he wrote about it. Interesting.
With
yeah,
almost 2,000 episodes.
I don't know the stats behind that. Yes, I don't really know. I can't fucking tell. How about when you drive, you're just sober about everything. How about that?
Yo, this is X on the beat, yo. Okay.
You heard my voice as well.
That ass.
Anyone knows that boy? I don't know. He's just so soy. Anyone knows that boy? I don't know. He's just so soy.